Are you ready to rock? Yes, I'm streaming again. It's been a little bit. I may be rusty, but you know, that's just my channel. Welcome back to the Let's Talk stream on Wednesday nights, where I bring on a guest and we talk about a movie that I like and possibly the guest likes. And I think I may have introduced this guest to this film, but we'll talk about it later. The great Dan Vasc is joining me tonight. How's it going, Dan?
Hell yeah! Doing great. And yes, you did introduce me to that movie. I just watched it for the first time ever today.
Beautiful. Oh, before we get to your thoughts, because I really want to know, is there anything you'd like to plug right now? What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Hey, I'm working on a big video right now. It will involve a lot of guests, a lot of big people, and hopefully everybody's gonna like it. It's a charity video.
Oh, that's great.
Go subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/danvasc. I'm gonna be dropping it there.
Link in the description if you want to go see that. Hey, what's up, everybody in the chat? I see all my boys are over here. Ben, Marty Art.
What up, chat?
Chris, Nate D. I'm just looking at it. It's Bailey, Jack Tardlin. What's going on? I did see that somebody dropped a super chat. All right, I need to address this fool. All right, his name is Nick Ricada, and he dropped a $50 super chat. I don't even know what time, because I made this live at some point this morning, and he dropped a super chat for $50, so he's gonna get a hiya. Can't make it live for this, but I love this movie more than Pip loves farting on a snare drum, and he loves farting on a snare drum. So thank you, Nick Ricada. We are going to get Nick Ricada on this channel either next week or the week after that, because we're going to talk about what was that Shadow in Chinatown? It's a Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren movie, and he really want to talk about it, and I've never seen it. So, and he says it's really rad. So I'm ready to dive into this movie. It looks rad.
I feel like
you know what I'm talking about.
I kind of know, but my mind is a blank.
It's like Shadow in. I think it's Shadow in Chinatown or something to that effect. It looks rad. It does. Yeah. It looks really cool. So you guys are welcome. Welcome to join the chat here. I'm gonna be looking over to you guys. We're gonna talk about the movie a bit and then shoot it back over to you guys. I see another super chat right now. Dad, it's only plastic for $10. That gets you a high. Yeah, $10. Dan Vasc, I cannot say enough about your music. I try to get as many people as possible to listen to your stuff and subscribe to your YouTube channel. All hail Quarter Black and Dan Vasc. That's fucking rad.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
I agree. You should do that. Everybody should do that. But Dan, what did you think of this movie? The movie is, if you don't already know, that it's in the title, Airheads, 1994. Airheads. This little talked about comedy movie. It's got a ton of actors in it, comedic actors that are really great. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. It was so ridiculous and over the top, but at the same time, not like supernatural over the top. That could happen, but it's so ridiculous that it's like, dude, that's what heavy metal is all about, right? It's over the top and like ultra wholesome rebellion.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. It's wholesome, but at the same time,
all he wanted was to get that song played so they can get a record deal.
Simple.
Like, that was it. But it just escalates from there and just gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah, and it's so funny how things go slowly escalating, and suddenly the guys see themselves like having hostages on the radio station. It's
great. The premise is great. I loved it.
It is.
It's something that's you don't get a lot these days. You know, it's such a unique idea. Like a band wants to get their song on the radio, so then they, through circumstances, they end up taking hostages and the whole hijinks thing, which is something funny about it. It was shot in Nakatomi Plaza. Right across the street is the building, the Die Hard building.
Wow,
yeah,
that's insane.
So it's like in that same little cul-de-sac, which is funny. Awesome. It's like a hostage movie.
And Die Hard is from what year?
85. It's not 85. I think it's later. 80. It's
almost 10 years later.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was already a famous location.
Oh yeah,
because of Die Hard. That's awesome.
I believe it's like the Sony office building or something like that. So it's like the little Sony complex.
So Airheads, 1994, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I liked about it too is that it's so, for the people who lived, and I also a little bit, I live kind of the end of that grinding era for the musician, that good old grinding of trying to get a demo tape to a record label. Actually, a big disappointment in that was the reason that I started YouTube, and that is so relatable. What happens there with the bands like practicing on a shitty place and having like a shitty demo tape that you're trying to get to the powers that be, the gatekeepers of your opportunities. And
he's like sneaking in wearing a delivery outfit, and they already know him because he's been there a million times.
Yeah, and there was something the Brandon Fraser character said that was so relatable, that living the rock and roll life and sometimes playing on a festival and your audience is the other bands.
Yes, yeah.
They're there to play.
When he said that,
we did that with Fearless, my band, so many times. Me and my brother and my two buddies, Gabriel and Giovanni, we did that so many times. That type of gig, it's so relatable.
Yeah, and he was like, "You don't know what it's like. I live this. I live rock and roll. I am rock and roll." You know. And I loved his character because, like you said, it's such a wholesome kind of hostage movie. Because all he wants is his music to be listened to. Not that he doesn't want a record deal just to have a record deal. He wants his music listened to. And I thought that
he turns down the record deal.
Yeah, he wipes his ass with the record deal. Yeah. It's like,
so heavy metal, man. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in that movie about the heavy metal culture. What's really about this really honest love for the music, for the art, and not giving a fuck, honestly, about the circumstances. And the guys kept hostages at gunpoint, for God's sakes. But again, not in this dark and evil way, but in a wholesome and stupid way. It's so,
and like most of the people that were hostages or were like they started to like it. So they liked it.
Yeah.
Like David Arquette was like, I want to get back in, man. I was having a good time.
He was trying to go back.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Hey, you shouldn't have escaped.
Yeah.
The guy told him.
Shouldn't have escaped, man. Come on, man. I was having a good time. Yeah, that was a good character. I like David Arquette's stoner character. Because he was just like, if you're going to blow anybody away, you should start with Milo over there. He really sucks.
Yeah, he said that. But the Brendan Fraser, pre George of the Jungle?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right? Yeah. I think this was after Encino Man. I think this is probably his movie right after that. I'd have to look it up, but it's early Brendan Fraser. Early.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the cast alone is Brendan Fraser. You got Adam Sandler. Why am I blanking on his name?
I forgot the name. The guy from Hey Fellow Kids.
Yeah. Why am I forgetting his name? He's a firefighter, but he was great. You've got two Ghostbusters in this movie. There's two of them. Winston and Egon are both in this movie. You've got freaking Chris Farley as the cop, the fumbling cop that going around. Like, there's just so many and great little character actors throughout. Lemmy is in it.
Lemmy did a cameo. That
They
was insane.
open the song with Motorhead, and then you see a picture of Lemmy in the offices when he's like trying to get his song played in the very beginning when he talks to the record executive. Yeah. You see Lemmy's picture,
and
then he shows up.
When everyone was like confessing that they were nerds. And that was really cool too, that a lot of metalheads, I don't know if that was a purposeful like mentioning of that fact, but a lot of metalheads are nerds. There is a correlation there. And I think back on those days when being a nerd wasn't cool anymore, before Big Bang Theory, that people were really embarrassed about that. But when the guys start talking about it, one guy in the crowd, hey, I play D&D too.
Yeah, I play D&D. and then Lemmy says, he's like, I ran the school newspaper.
Yeah, but the weird thing about Lemmy is that he's mentioned on the movie as Lemmy, like on that trick question.
Yeah,
who would win in a fight to the death, Lemmy or God? And then they discover that the guy was a cop because
like, trick question.
Yeah,
Lemmy is God.
No, God. You're supposed to say that Lemmy is God. You're full of shit. But then when he appears on the crowd, is he Lemmy or he's
just kind of there?
Supposed to be someone random over there. That wasn't clear to me. I think it would be so funny if he's just some guy over there and like he's mentioned on the movie as being himself.
He just happened to be there. But that's the cast is great.
Yeah,
it's just, it seems like it got a lot of really great actors. What's his name? He's canceled now, but he played Kramer. He played Kramer in Seinfeld. Michael Richards.
Seinfeld. Do you believe that? It is on Netflix now.
Oh, dude, watch it. You gotta watch it. It's a great show.
Yeah,
but he's in it. And he's like in the air ducts, that guy. It's like crawling through the air ducts, and he's constantly like trying to hide, and then the
that guy's so funny.
The SWAT guy gives him a gun.
I don't usually laugh at clumsy humor. Well, there are the classics like Mr. Bean, like this physical humor.
His physical humor
is really hard to nail. But that guy nailed it. It's so funny. The guy lights himself on fire.
Well, he goes into the closet and he knocks over like that flammable stuff on him, and then he has his lighter, and he's like, yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's really hard to pull out physical comedy, and that guy's great.
He's perfect at it.
Yeah.
So the movie starts with, what is the very beginning of it? It's him trying to get a record deal. He breaks in
the record label building. He breaks in.
He sneaks in, right? And then they already know him because he's tried to do it a million times before. He's like the guy that's dressed in the delivery outfit, and he's able to sneak by everybody.
It's like, oh, that guy again.
He meets with the record label, and he tries to give him their demo tape. And I thought it was funny too because it's like in this big ass box because it's on a fucking reel. It's not like, it's on a disc. It's a reel.
I've seen one of those.
Yeah,
I never recorded analog. It was always digital for me. Never seen one of those.
And I have a feeling that whoever wrote this has a lot of knowledge about like the rock and roll culture of like having a band and doing stuff. Because he had the characters saying lines like, I don't like the way my voice sounds on tape because it blows out the low ends and I sound like I have my nuts in a vice or something. Like he's got all these little technical things about it.
That's definitely a thing. When you change the mediums of your mastering, the final product, it changes how the mix sounds. And the people who wrote that were definitely knowledgeable about that.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. It definitely seemed like whoever wrote it knew people like this, or they were in a band and they were trying to start a band in their own way, and they had some kind of knowledge because it felt very real. It was like they were just some guys that just love making music, and they're just trying to get their name out there, and just like the metal guy works at a toy store you know, and he's like,
yeah,
then they go back to his apartment.
Job that has nothing to do with metal, and there's all the his co-workers that are the
Steve
kind
Buscemi.
of dorks.
Steve Buscemi, that's his name.
Right.
I like that guy. But yeah, and then they go to his apartment, and their apartment's like trashed. It's so disgusting.
Trash
it's so gross
everywhere.
Oh, I forgot about his girlfriend too. So he goes he goes and tries to get his album, or not his album, just his song listened to.
Just a song. Yeah.
The record executive is like, we don't take unsolicited music. Can't do it. Get out of here. They kick him out. Then he goes back to his girlfriend's house, and he's just like sitting on the couch. She comes in. She's like, "You're not doing anything." And then she kicks him out. And then that's whenever they go to the toy store, and then back to his apartment, the brother's apartment, which is Adam Sandler and Steve Buscemi, which is a funny combination. Those two as brothers.
Yeah, it's interesting, and they have chemistry, but it's super relatable, that thing, like having a girlfriend that she's trying to be someone in life while you're grinding with your band, and it may seem like you're a loser, that you don't have a job, but actually
it's like, this is my job.
Yeah, what you're trying to do is like it's worse than a job, because you're not gaining anything for it. So you're working for an expectation, for something that you expect, that you want to happen but isn't happening yet. So yeah, totally relatable, and that kind of makes you feel like a loser sometimes, that you maybe I should get a real job, but you stick to it. So relatable, so fun.
Yeah, I mean, she throws him out. So what was their plan? So in their apartment. So it all kind of connects, right? So he works at a toy store, and they get back to the apartment. They show that he like takes thrown away toys that they can't sell anymore, and he's like, "Oh, we have these pistols that we can't sell because they look too real." And you're like,
fills it with pepper.
But yeah, pepper sauce, as they call it. I think
pepper sauce, yeah. And they carried that to the radio station for some reason.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would you? What's funny is that they're so naive to. It's like they're not part of reality.
It's some naivety.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we could just pull a gun out and it's not gonna have consequences. They take the gun.
Yeah, they don't realize they are in a hostage situation until one of the hostages tells them, when the police shows up, "Hey, got some news for you. We are your hostages."
That's because
the guys are like, "What?"
The whole time, like, "Wait, what?" And then whenever the cop is like, later on, we need you to send one person out to as a good faith measure.
Sign a good faith.
And then Adam Sandler's character, he's like, "I'll go." They're like, "No, one of the hostages, you idiot." Yeah.
It's that stupid wholesomeness that gets you. That's like, those guys are not the bad guys.
Yeah. But they had the idea because they were at a concert, and the band that was on stage was a band that they'd played with, but they had gotten a shot at the radio station. So that's where they get the idea. Oh, let's sneak into the radio station, get our song played. So that's kind of like how they come up with the idea of going there. And then
that's what we need to do. We need to get to the radio station, and something great that the movie does to you is that it gets you in sort of a super high anxiety and expectation for actually listening to the
you're like, what is this song?
I'm
sure it's gonna be crap.
The song gonna suck. Is the song gonna be good? But and you keep waiting for it till the end of the movie,
because they keep almost playing it. Like they get in there, they get him to play it. They're talking to the DJ, and the DJ is kind of like, he's whatever. He turns the mic on to him while they're talking, and the guys are like, Brendan Fraser, like, he's very serious about his music. It's not fake for him. He's like, we've got to have this song played because we're gonna be huge, and I really believe in this music. So they're talking about it. The guy comes in. I guess the manager of the radio station comes in, is like, you got to kick these guys out.
Yeah.
And that's whenever he shit talks Steve Buscemi's character, and he's like, you want to do that again? And then he pulls out the gun on him, the fake gun, and then that's when it like escalates.
Yeah,
and it just keeps going.
And it's so cool that the Brendan Fraser character, it's like later on in the movie when he has the opportunity to say something for himself in front of the whole audience that is on the radio listening to him and outside, he just screams, rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's like there's no agenda behind it. There's no ideology behind it. There's no complicated philosophy behind it. It just wants to rock.
He just wants to rock. He wants to rock and have he wants to have his song heard.
Yeah, it's so funny because
so good.
I want to be heard. And then the DJ asks, okay, so people are hearing you. What do you want to say? I want to say I want to be heard.
Yeah, that's it.
Such simplicity.
Yeah,
it's
that's what
so
I love
cool.
about it.
And that's what heavy metal is all about. It's simple. It's simple. There's no need to complicate it. No need to embed it with some high ivory tower philosophy. No need for that.
Just want to rock, man. I just want to fucking play music,
fun.
Man.
Yeah,
and that's what everybody
in a
like.
Rebellious way, not giving a fuck. It's like we said, in a wholesome, rebellious way.
Yeah, that's what. So because they could have easily looked like shitheads, but the whole time they were just like, lovable guys, like whatever. Steve Buscemi guy, he goes out and he's like, "Whoa, these people like fucking love us, man." Yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. He's like doing stuff. It's so funny.
Yeah, and like some petty stuff that they do that is so funny with the hostages. Like when they take everyone to a room and tell them to sit on the floor. Yeah. And someone says, "Oh, I don't want to sit on the floor. Can I sit on a chair?" Okay, you can sit on a chair because some excuse. And then the guys, the manager, he says, "Hey, if she's sitting on a chair, I want to sit on the chair too." And then they said, "Okay, everyone sit on chair."
Except for you. You have to sit in the corner.
Except for you. Not you. You sit on the floor. So
I don't understand. If she's sitting in a chair, I don't understand why I can't sit in a chair.
Yeah.
Another great character actor. I mean, he's in Clue and Spinal Tap. He's in Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
Okay, next time we're gonna do Spinal Tap. All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Do it.
But yeah, he's the lead singer in Spinal Tap.
Okay.
And he's a great character actor, comedian actor. It's just, this movie is just like chock full of a bunch of great actors, but I feel like the movie's just not talked about that much. It's kind of like,
it's
whisked away.
It's not. When you first invited me, I was searching for it on Netflix, on Amazon, and it's not nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it's weird. That's what I want to talk about because I liked it, and I figured I was like, I think Dan would appreciate this. I think he'd appreciate this movie.
I love it. And there's a little bit of good old 90s political incorrectness too.
Yeah, whatever.
They keep calling themselves retarded. That sort of stuff. It's amazing.
I like the awesome part whenever they're looking out. Adam Sandler is looking out, and the black receptionist is there, and he's like, Why do black people hate white people so much? She's like, excuse me? What? He's like, well, I understand it because, like,
I listen to a lot of rap
music. He just seems like so mad, And I get it. Like, it's got to suck whenever you go into a store and they're watching you and you're like, all you want to do is just buy a product. And she's like, well, that never actually happens to me.
That never happens.
And he was like, yeah, whatever, yeah, And he just like looks away.
And there's that other black character too that kind of makes fun of the whole racial thing.
Yeah, the tech guy or whatever. I don't know what he did, but
he's kind of the tech guy.
Come on, the white man crackers.
Yeah, kind of makes fun of the whole racial thing, and it's so funny. Yeah, back in those days, you were able to make fun of that, and everyone would laugh and forget about it.
And they were saying, Rodney King. It's like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? And that guy was the guy that said that. He was like, what is Rodney King? Why are they even saying that? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
They're just trying to use it as like a moment.
How they start getting slowly getting the crowd to their side.
Yeah.
They at first they were just curious. They were there. Hey, there's some crime going on here, some hostage situation, but slowly they start cheering for them, and it's like a big party.
Yeah. When they cut the power to the building, they went out there and were like, "Give us the power back," and that's when they were saying, "Rodney King, Rodney King, Rodney King."
That was it.
To get him to, and then the whole crowd was like, "Yeah, give him the power back."
Yeah. They were on their side.
Yeah,
at that time, totally.
All right, I can get into some of these soups. Nate D for $5. Don't tell me about rock and roll. I'm out there on the streets, and I'm living it. I am rock and roll. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
He had a great performance. And he's having a little resurgence, a little more Brendan Fraser resurgence. He took a break there from acting for a while, and he's kind of coming back. And I always liked him in movies. He had
me too, man. My
likable quality.
Yeah, I loved his Mummy movies, and George of the Jungle was amazing. Yeah. Is that the English title, George of the Jungle?
Yeah, George of the Jungle.
Yeah, because I only watched it dubbed in Portuguese. It's just,
that's a wacky movie. Brendan Fraser, I really like Brendan Fraser because of his choices of movies in the 90s and 2000s were so interesting. Like Monkey Bone, George of the Jungle, this, Bedazzled.
All over the place, right?
Crazy, like concept movies over here and over there. It was just, he had a lot of cool choices that he did. And he was great in The Mummy, you know?
Yeah, the guy deserves a resurgence. I would love to see that for sure.
He's supposed to be in Batgirl, right? He's in the Batgirl movie as Firefly, the villain, or one of the villains. I don't know, but I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, me too, man.
Low watermark for $25. Low watermark. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Quarter Dan, Texas. Okay.
What?
All right.
Fusion.
But I appreciate you anyways. Lad art. There you go. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I know you're around, so thank you for being here. For 259 CKs. CZK? I don't know what that is. Is it Czech?
I think that's from Norway.
Is it Norwegian?
Norway?
I'm not good with funds, but thank you. I appreciate you. Hi, Dan. Hi, Garrett. Wow.
Hi.
It's 2 a.m. here. Oh, it's got to be like Scandinavia or somewhere over there.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. here, and I'm still managed to spell your name right. No, you didn't. You did not. I can't believe you. You spelled it so incorrectly. So incorrectly, but that's okay.
It's 2 a.m.
I appreciate you anyways. Anyway, great to see you guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate that you're here.
Likewise.
That it's 2 a.m. Sarah De Oliveira Mondani? That was pretty close. I think that was pretty close. What is BRL? For 10... R... It's like it's an R with cash. Is that like
it's Brazilian
cash?
Ice.
Hey Ice. Why is it R though? I don't get that. Well, hey, welcome to the channel. I think you were here last time we had Dan. I'm gonna have Dan on more. You know, bringing in that cultured, audience. Dan, what's the most funny situation with your band Fearless? Love, Gabriel, Giovanni, Divi, and you.
Wow, I wish I had some more time to think about that, because surely there would be something. But yeah, just those general stories of everyone who's had a upcoming band went through back in the 2000s and 2010s. Do we say 2010s or 10s?
The aughts? I don't know. Some people say the aughts. I don't like that really that much.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know too. But yeah, you guys know what I mean. Those stories of rehearsing and practicing on shitty places and there's one story that once we were playing on an event. It was actually an event from my church. And I don't know if we did something wrong, if we played too loud and God was angry or something like that. But the power was out. We went out of power in the whole building in the midst of the show.
Damn, you blew the circuits. You just rocked too hard.
I was playing. It was. I think on those days, Fearless was a power trio, like in the movie. I was playing. I was in the vocals and playing the bass, and we just kept on. We just finished the song. We didn't know what to do. We were playing.
Were you just playing it on the car, like the guitars with no amp or anything?
But yeah, people could only hear the drums, of course.
Oh,
but
well.
We just kept on playing. It was, I remember exactly what was the song. It was Sign of the Cross by Avantasia. And we kept on playing.
Song must go on. Must go on. Joey Bryant for $20. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Debate time. Can you pluralize the Lone Rangers? Well, you just did.
Funny.
You just did.
But it makes sense. It makes sense that it's kind of dumb. The Lone Rangers, but it's part of the movie. Like the guys are kind of stupid.
Yeah, they're dumb.
It's to convey the idea that they they don't have the time for those details, like names of the band.
They're like, it just sounds rad. I like it. The Lone Rangers sounds cool.
They asked the Adam Sandler character, "What's your name?" He's like, "I'm Pip."
Yeah, Pip.
The name of the fucking band.
I'm Pip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a through line.
Funny. Yeah.
Wait, you can't pluralize.
Heavy metal makes it all possible. So yeah, I think yes, you can.
Yes. Yeah. You just did. So thank you, Joey. Bearded Mountain for $5. I love this movie as a kid. They stuck to their guns in the end and didn't shoot the video because the shit was unplugged. That was a great.
Yeah,
that
was cool too, right?
That slimy music guy is like, just do what you're told, okay? You know, he's like,
goes away like that. And that guy acts so well. Like he conveys the idea of like a corporate asshole so well. It's amazing.
Yeah, because he was like, he had nothing to do with him before.
Yeah, hey, rock stars don't go to jail.
Yeah,
don't you know? Like we have a whole team of lawyers doing everything for our investment, and like then the stakes are like they are a little bit more than just having your song heard. It's like freedom. I don't want to go to jail.
We're not going to prison.
Yeah.
Which they ultimately do go to prison. But there was a great ending for the movie. They were just playing their rock in jail, which is like the most metal thing I can think of. It's like, that's fucking badass.
They just don't give a damn. We're going to jail, but we're not lip syncing. Like, that is that over the top ridiculousness that only heavy metal.
Yeah.
Only heavy metal can bring. I prefer to go to jail.
Yeah, I'd rather go to jail.
Lip sync on a live show.
And stick to my guns, you know, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to my principles. I'm not lip syncing. There's no way, man. I'm not doing it. It's good.
Yeah.
See, that's how you can have morals, even though, it's a little misguided, but you have principles and you stick to your principles. That's how you have a good message in a movie, even though it could be a crazy, wacky, you're taking hostages at a radio station, but you can still have like a little bit of a moral story. They went to prison, okay? They got their comeuppance. They didn't just get off scot-free.
Yeah, and it's like watching a kid stealing something, like on their innocence. Like, hey, I just wanted the toy, or I just wanted the candy. Like, it's like you're not supposed to do that, but wholesome. You
always the whole movie you want them to get away with it. You're like, they just keep getting deeper and deeper into. They're like taking hostages, and now they're putting them in a room, and they've got guns, and they're pointing guns all over at people, and now they have a real gun, and then it just gets crazier and crazier, and you're like, how are they going to get out of this situation?
Yeah, and people who didn't watch the movie, if they listen to us talking like that's like, it's horrible. You're cheering for criminals, for people who kidnap others. That's horrific. But you need to watch the movie to understand the sentiment, to understand why you cheer for these guys. That they're not actually the bad guys, and they're doing that like in their innocent stupidity and love for heavy metal.
Yeah, it's wholesome. It's a wholesome film.
It's wholesome. Yeah.
And they make almost everybody that's like an authority figure, I think, except for the police chief. They make them all like horrible people. So the manager of the station is a horrible douche. The SWAT guy is a horrible cop. The record executive, and they're just like these wholesome guys that just want to rock. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, and at first the DJ too. But then they kind of get him to their side, and he's kind of a rock and roll passionate too, because the radio station executive was planning to migrate the theme of the station to soft rock.
The Rain.
He discovers that by finding Kenny G albums and shorts.
What are these? They're shorts. They're small pants with sticky legs through.
Kenny G albums and all sorts of other soft rock albums. And what's the meaning of this? I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I will go kill you. And he's like, "Where do you get the balls? You could think you could fire me?" Which is funny. I forgot how important DJs used to be. Like they used to be they had power in the radio stations. Like they were the head of the radio station. Yeah,
real gatekeepers. And the thing that they want to like go to the DJ and present their music, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. People used to do like, oh, I need to befriend that person because he knows a person that knows a DJ somewhere. That was real.
That's what I found interesting too, is seeing the things that are so different now. You know, like you said that you started your band and you were trying to do that stuff kind of towards the end of that, having to go try and find a record deal and stuff like that. But now you can just publish your own music online and put it out there and promote yourself. And so many of those things that were necessary then aren't necessary now. It's kind of crazy
my fear, and I was thinking about that when I was watching the music. When I was watching the movie, I was thinking about the music industry, and I was like, yeah, we came a long way, but I really fear that we go back to those middleman days through the monopoly of social media and distribution of content that we have today. That's a real fear that I have, and it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen that we are back to having to beg to someone, like you have to know someone who knows someone on YouTube so you can release a song about a certain subject or saying a certain word in one of your songs. Of course, it's not that bad like you were in those days. Like those days, there were real gatekeepers, real middlemen that you had to please and beg to. But I fear that it is totally possible. It's not absurd at all that we can certainly go back to those days with everything that's happening with censorship on.
I think it could almost get worse because at least back then you knew who the gatekeepers were. You knew it was the record executives. You can go there, and if you could get past those guys, then you're in.
It was something objective.
Yes. Now it's just this shadowy rules and conduct, systems that are on these different platforms and stuff. Like, it's who are the gatekeepers? They're like this big mystery. So it's even harder to find out how to get past that. And, we used to be in this Wild West era of the internet where you could just put something out and just get it out there. Yeah, and I'm afraid as well that they're going to try and lock it down and make it so you can't. It's going to be, like I said, even worse than it was in the past.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility, but I'm optimistic about it. I'm optimistic because we see all the time the new stuff coming out, like ODYSEE, Rumble, and on the social media realm, like stuff like Minds and Gab, and I'm trying to get on all that stuff. And even if I have like double-digit followers, I make sure to post there just for the sake of it, just to be.
We're on
there.
ODYSEE right now. Hey ODYSEE,
oh, yeah.
What's going on?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
What's
we're doing a double stream. We're at both locations.
Fantastic.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
It's really important. And I think over time, because you take down a BitChute, an ODYSEE comes up, a Rumble comes up after that, something else. I think at some point,
demand.
People they're going to figure out that they can't just keep shutting down opposition sites because they're just going to keep coming up. Yeah. And hopefully it'll slow down.
Yeah, and we need to remember that we are at the beginning of an entirely new industry. The internet is so new, is so recent, and like there was a time that there was only Henry Ford doing cars, and there was a monopoly, and like I think we're living on those times. If eventually, I believe personally, there's gonna be a social media for like everything and everyone, like a social media for, I don't know, for music, a social media for video games, a social media for right-wing people, a social media for left-wing people, a social media for people who don't want to hear a word about politics. I believe that's going to eventually happen.
I mean, we're kind of going in that direction. You can almost do that. Like if you go back to MySpace, have you ever gone back to MySpace recently? Man. It's all music. Justin Timberlake bought MySpace and has turned it into a music platform. So it's almost kind of like that. It's like just for music. I mean, nobody still goes there, but it's got that idea, the idea of if I want just that, I can just go to that area and hang out with people that's all they want to do is talk about music, or all they want to do is talk about video games.
If that's all I want, I would be only there.
Yeah.
And that's completely okay. It's people are going to say, it's so divisive. Cool. Sometimes it's good to unaffiliate yourself from stuff you don't want to be exposed to.
This is the internet. It's not reality, So like I'll hang out wherever I want to on the internet. This is for entertainment. Yeah. I go in reality. Absolutely. Then if you're segregating people in reality, that's the problem.
Yep.
All right. James Spoon. What an interesting last name. For $5. This movie was where. That's not me. He did say was where. Let me restart this, okay? This movie was where I had Motorhead for the first, where I heard Motorhead for the first time back in 94. Lemmy is God. Or at least drinking for him at the moment.
I remember the first time I listened to Motorhead too. And he was on the soundtrack of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. The Ace of Spades.
Yes. Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great song to skate to. It is.
Yeah. That soundtrack of that game was some of my first exposure to heavy music.
Tony Hawk Underground 2.
Oh man.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Who's next? Nate D for $2. It's an anti-authoritarian movie. Very metal.
Definitely.
It's anti-authority, and I'm very anti-authority. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I could relate to so much on that movie. It was so cool. Yeah, that
I'm glad you liked it.
Rebellious feeling. Yeah, I did. It was awesome. That rebellious nature of the listener of rock and roll, of heavy music and heavy metal is so cool, because that's kind of being lost today. It's kind of like you're encouraged nowadays to fit somewhere and just be another brick on the wall.
Yeah.
And like what rock and roll is really about is like just do you be yourself and fuck whoever doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And that movie leaves that very, very clear.
Yeah, that's another one of those little moral it's almost like a side moral thing, because it's not like an ultimate moral truth, but it's like it's a rock and roll moral truth. Was be true to your music, don't sell out, and be true to yourself. You know, because it had that scene where I have something to tell you. I'm a nerd. My name's Chester. And then, you know, I played D&D and I played this, and it's like, you know, and then everybody was okay with it, because it's kind of like, you don't have to be this certain type of person to like rock and roll or to like metal. You could be anybody. And that was kind of like another story in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Now there is the people who want to change that about rock and roll, and those people, I think, need to be gatekeeped out of rock and roll, which are the people who want to change that element of rebellion about rock and roll. People who make statements like the metal community doesn't like this or doesn't like that. Dude, don't say metal community. First of all, you look like a kindergarten teacher, a kindergarten mom. You sound like it. And second of all, what makes heavy metal so unique and what gathers people around it is precisely the fact that we're not a community. We allow people to be different. We allow us to be different from one another. And that's what unites us. The fact that we're different. We're all different. We're all individuals. And we all let ourselves be free to be that.
It's not conformity to it's not conformity to unconformity. You know, it's almost like a lot of these things are like, I'm anti-conformity, so now I'm going to be this other thing over here which you need to conform to if you want to be part of, you know, it's like the opposite of what they're trying to do. And the same thing goes for a lot of different areas, you know, nerd culture, music culture. Whenever somebody comes in and they say that they hate everything that made that culture what it is, well, you don't really like that thing, do you? You know, you come in and you say you don't like the elements of Star Wars that make Star Wars Star Wars. Well, you're not a fan of Star Wars then. You know, if you don't like the elements that make up metal and metal fans, and you want to change that in some way, then you're not really a fan of metal. You know, you're and those people should be gatekept, because they're not trying to actually, in good faith, interact with the community or whatever, the group of people that like a certain thing. Yes. They're doing it maliciously.
Yeah, people need to understand that there's a culture behind every fandom, and that culture, if you're not going to adhere to it, know that you're gonna have a hard time hanging out with people who like that thing,
or respect it too. You know, you don't even have to adhere to it, just respect it. You know, I don't go into the knitting community and go, hey, you got to start liking all the things I like, so I can hang around. And, you know, like, you go into an area and you respect other people's shit.
Exactly. What we have nowadays is people joining fandoms, and they want the fandom to adapt to them instead of the opposite. And that should be gatekeeped.
Yeah, 100%.
Completely.
Oh, I take it back to the Star Wars thing, because I mean, it's kind of what's going on right now. There's a lot of Star Wars talk going on, and I take it back to that. It's like the Star Wars fan community, to me, before Disney bought it, was respecting the original trilogy, respecting a lot of each other, because it was literally like there was like no movies coming out, so it was like, oh damn, you like the same movies that I like? What do you like about them? Do you like the expanded universe? Do you go back into that? Like, you respected that stuff. You respected the people that played these background characters, because those were important to you. And what it seems now is that they took all those things, like respecting those trilogies, respecting the people the actors that played in those characters, respecting the lore of the expanded universe and all that kind of stuff. And they took that and they threw it all in the trash, and they say, if you like those things, you're not a Star Wars fan. And it's the same way whenever, like, anytime somebody comes into a fandom or some type of a community like the metal community or rock and roll in general, and they start doing that and they want, like you said, it needs to conform to me, or else I can't let this stand. I gotta tear it down and it needs to conform to me.
Yeah, and you mentioned Star Wars back in the day. It was like meeting a fellow Star Wars fan was like meeting someone, a distant relative.
Yeah.
Wow, someone I can talk about the stuff I like, and you were immediately friends, and you were immediately talking about theories, and if you, and there was a weird thing about the prequel trilogy, that there was a lot of hate for the prequel trilogy, but it was still Star Wars.
Yeah.
No one would question that. It was like some people would question that, but most people wouldn't question that. And it's like the characters are still true to the Star Wars lore. It was still something like they were bad Star Wars movies, but they were Star Wars movies. I like them.
Right.
But that was the consensus. Yeah. The people who didn't like it, most of them still consider it Star Wars.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like the gates are so wide open that every single people on Earth is a Star Wars fan now. Right. Every single people on Earth knows all about Baby Yoda and that sort of shit.
I went to Target and bought a T-shirt that says Star Wars on it, so I'm a Star Wars fan, or I tweeted about Star Wars once, so now I'm considered a Star Wars fan. So, really though, like, did you buy all the books? Did you read the Padawan novelization of all of the, like, did you read all that stuff? Like, I don't know. I mean, you're kind of a casual. That's fine, but don't act as if you are part of like the core of the fandom. And that same thing happens all over the place.
Dude, every single 14-year-old girl owns a Baby Yoda plushie. I feel.
I hate that. I hate that fucking baby so much.
If the thing that you enjoy is gonna grow like organically, then cool. Probably something that grew a lot in the past 20 years, and I feel like it was done organically. It was the subgenre of heavy metal called power metal. It grew a lot, and I'm totally happy for it because it's something decentralized. No one owns power metal, but suddenly when someone can own Star Wars, then they can do like inorganical things to it, artificial things to it, to like spread open the gates. And now all the characteristics of that culture, of that fandom, all the specifics that make that group of people, that fellowship, what they were, now it's all gone. Because when you try to please everybody, it's like
you please nobody.
You please nobody, and you lose all everything that made you special.
Yeah, it's the commercialization of stuff. Yeah, that's a great point of when you make something just so open for everybody, you don't have the specialness. That's why it was special, is because it was Star Wars. Even though Star Wars was such a big deal, it became it was a movie that was a huge deal a long time ago, and enough people still loved it enough to bring it into the 90s and bring it into the early 2000s, kind of shepherd it in there. So it had like almost even though it was huge, a cult following kind of thing. And it, like, again, even though it was huge, it had that same kind of vibe to it. And now it has a vibe of commercial, as many people as we could possibly get. We don't care who, gatekeeps or whatever, because that's what they do. That they gatekeep. They come in and say, "Don't gatekeep," and then they gatekeep.
Yeah.
If you don't like Ray, or whatever,
they don't want the end of gatekeeping. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
What they want is exclusivity. They want the monopoly of gatekeeping.
They want to be the gatekeeper.
Yeah, because there were Star Wars casuals before.
Yeah.
There were. everyone knew about Star Wars. Every single person who was not a Star Wars fan was a Star Wars casual, because everyone knew about Star Wars. Even being the most hardcore fans being kind of a cult thing, it was widely known.
Yeah.
But what changed now is not that more people know about it, it's that the culture around it is gone, because the standards are lower for acceptance on that culture.
Like Book of Boba Fett. I saw a picture of Luke Skywalker, therefore now I am happy, and they gave me Star Wars. Is that... It's not. It's not Luke Skywalker. It's Jake Skywalker. He's going down the same path that Jake Skywalker is. You know, it's like, I can't just be shown something that they bought and then now are putting a name to and go, oh, it's Luke Skywalker, right? And get excited for it. I can't. I've been burned already.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, and make no mistake, I have a lot of empathy for the normies, that they are just not following what every single Lucasfilm employee says. They don't know about
and they go,
what
oh,
happened to
Luke
Gina
Skywalker, cool.
Carano, and they just want their childhood back. And they see Luke Skywalker in some shitty ass show and they say, oh, my childhood.
Yeah.
And they're happy about it. I have a lot of empathy for those people, and I sympathize with that. That's why I think what you guys do, you with your channel and the guys at FNT, Geeks and Gamers, is so important to bring those issues to the normies. And it takes a lot of tact to do that. It takes a lot of, you need to be smart about it, because you don't want to treat people like if they were like stupid. Hey, don't you know about what they did to Gina Carano? No, you need to be smart about it. You need to have charisma and talk to the fans as if they were what they are, people like us. Yeah. And I think you guys do that pretty well. And on the like opposite to what Lucasfilm does, which is treat the fans like cattle, really, like numbers, and that like someone you are there to teach and to like, I need to educate you.
I need to educate and siphon money out of you. That's what it seems like. Yeah. Like when we were talking about the difference between, and now we're just talking about Star Wars, but that's okay. That's our show. That's the show.
But it relates to heavy metal,
right?
And the gatekeeping stuff.
The focus changed. It changed from, and that's what you get, like you said earlier. Whenever somebody can own a thing, you know, nobody can own power metal. It's everybody's. And before it felt like Star Wars was everybody's, but now it's owned by a corporation, and the focus went from what it felt like before, and maybe I was just naive. It felt like the focus was on the hardcore fans. It was for the people that, not the normies, although the normies can still like what we're doing. The focus of Star Wars seemed to be creative, one, because George Lucas was always changing and making new things. And all of the events were about the hardcore fans. And then whenever it was purchased, the focus was moved from that to the mass fans, right? The normie fans, all of the people that are just like, I know what a lightsaber is. I know what Boba Fett looks like. It was focused towards them because they're the higher majority and they have the most money. So it seems like that, and then that's why it feels so commercialized now. It's focused towards, what can we get people to talk about on Twitter every episode? Oh, it's Mandalorians in this episode, even though it's supposed to be about Boba Fett. We're dropping Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka and this and that, and you know, it's just so we can get trending on the normie site of Twitter, so they can start talking about Star Wars again. And it's not about the actual like hardcore fans that read every expanded universe book and comic book and played all the games and knew all the lore. It's not focused on those people anymore. It's focused on everybody.
Yeah, and the cool thing about heavy metal is that metalheads don't forgive that sort of shit. They don't take that kind of shit. If that happens to a band, that band is gone. That it's like that. There's
like
no
sold
mercy.
out. You corporate shill.
Because of that culture of truthfulness and being honest to yourself and being honest about your love for the music. That's something that without false modesty, I think we do that pretty well.
Yeah, that's great. I wish we'd bring that into some more nerd culture spaces.
Yeah,
we need that fucking vibe. That's what we need.
Yeah, we need to stop ostracizing gatekeeping.
Yeah,
we because you gatekeep all aspects of your life. You gatekeep certainly your dating life, your romantic life.
Mm-hmm.
You gatekeep your company. You don't let anyone to go work for you in your company. You gatekeep your house.
Yeah.
Let's see those gatekeeping haters sleep with their
open your doors, unlock all your doors.
Your front door, right? Wide open, and like you gatekeep your life. So gatekeeping and assuring, making sure the quality of the people involved in something is what makes that something great. Is what makes that something what it is. So gatekeeping is not a bad thing. Let's stop this witch hunt against gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Gatekeepers are doing a great service for every community. Of course, you don't want to make your shit completely inaccessible. You want to be smart about it. You want to be sensible about it. You want to be reasonable about it. But yeah, don't.
I don't think
doors wide open.
Those two things are mutually exclusive. I think you can be a gatekeeper and be inclusive. You know, like you can be welcoming. I've never ever met a Star Wars fan that says to anybody, I don't want you don't watch Star Wars, don't like it. It's always been Star Wars fans that want to talk about it, even the ones that don't like current day Star Wars. The problem is the people that do that, and they come in and they go, if you don't like XYZ, then you are no longer a fan. I've had people tell me that because I don't like the new Disney Star Wars stuff. Oh, well, you're just being negative and you're not a fan anymore. I'm like, well, I'm not a fan of this. I'm a fan of Star Wars, you know? So we need that metal energy where it's like, you can come here, but once you start starting shit, you got to leave because that's not what we're about. And Eric July did that. There was a great tweet about his Ripaverse where he said, he was like, once it's out there, it's all yours, and you gatekeep the shit out of it. You know, if you see anybody do some shit in there, gatekeep them. Keep them out.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to isolate. It's trying to make it better for everybody. If you like something, then like it. But if you're being malicious, get the fuck out. It's time to go. And like you just said, you gatekeep everything. You gatekeep your friends. You don't let you have somebody that's coming in and maliciously affecting everybody. You gotta go like, I don't know, maybe I just won't hang out with you anymore. You know, like
exactly, dude. There's so much. It's pure hypocrisy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sam Christian for $20. Hey, always love this movie. Chris Farley going to White Zombie. Oh, that's right. There was a White Zombie concert.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that little cameo there. If I remember that right, you are correct. That was Rob Zombie of the White Zombies. Was it Zombies or Zombie? White Zombie. Then rip out the dude's... the nipple ring where he pulls it. Improvise. He just pulls it right out. Oh, God.
Who shows up to a fight without a shirt and with nipple rings?
He had the nose one too. I was like, you could pull that down and rip them out of your nipples. Like, you're so vulnerable.
Darwin.
Man. So
that was
vulnerable.
Darwin doing its work.
Exactly. For $23.45, I am... Wait, hold on. Lamb chop. I read lamb incorrectly. It's I am.
That looks like an eye to me too.
I am B chop. Lamb chop for $23.45. Hail, fellows, and well met. Dan, I played one of your videos for my mother on Saturday, and then she put your channel on autoplay on her TV for the rest of the day.
Nice.
Universally
My
loved.
AdSense account says thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to your mom.
Jose
Send her
Gonzalez.
my regards.
Jose, what's up? Uber chat here. Jose, for $10. Thank you, sir. You get a hug, yeah, as well. Hail, Garrett and Dan. This movie taught me to be proud of my metalhead ways. Damn right. Damn right. Growing up in Puerto Rico, everything was hip hop. Definitely not the popular stance. Continue Orisando?
Arrasando, irmão.
I can't speak. Jose, why would you throw that at me? You know me. I can't say stuff like that.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you, Jose. Lady Gravemaster.
Jose.
Oh, is that how you say it? In the Brazil?
In Brazil,
in
it's
Brazil?
José. In Brazil, it's José. Yeah.
You have like more of the Z sound. Whenever you do S, is that what it is?
When some S's, it's complicated to explain. Portuguese is one of the most complicated languages to learn, people say. But some S's sound like when you have two S's, it sounds like your actual English S. But when we have one S, it sounds like Z. I
used to work with, half of my office was Brazilian.
Really?
Because I worked at a movie theater call center. We did a lot of tech work with the theaters, and half of our theaters were in South America. So like all Brazil and a bunch of those countries down there. So half of our staff they spoke Portuguese, and they'd try and teach me stuff, but I was like, it sounds like Spanish, but it's like not Spanish.
If you know Spanish, you understand Portuguese if you know Spanish, and vice versa. It's real similar, and a little bit like Italian too.
I hear that. I hear the Italian.
Three languages are very similar.
They'd always bring very interesting food. I'll say that. Interesting food. They love those little, and I say they as like the whole thing, but these ladies that would make food and bring it in, she would always bring in the French fry, like they're like in a can, like French fries in a can. They're super thin, and I don't know why that was, but she would just bring that every single time. No matter what the dish was, it would just be French fries in a can, like a
can.
It's like fried onion kind of thing, but it's like a little French fry stick.
Oh, so it's breakable,
like
it breaks.
I don't know if it's a Brazilian thing. But
I think it is. It's called potato in Portuguese is batata.
Yeah.
And that one is called batata palha. It's really good.
Interesting. Yeah, she would just put it on everything. She'd just be like, "You got a hot dog? Put it on a hot dog."
Hot dog. There are no Brazilian hot dogs without it. Let me tell you.
There were so many hot dogs. She brought a lot of hot dogs. One time she brought an ant. I think she was just messing with me. She brought like an ant that was like this big. She was like, "When you eat it," I ate it.
No, we don't eat ants. She was messing with me.
She was messing with me. I mean, it was fine. It tasted like protein. I don't know. Lady Gravemaster for $10. You get a hiya.
Lady G.
What's up, Lady G? For a generation that claims to hate labels, they sure like checking boxes. That's correct. Fandom for an IP exists because of what the IP is, not what it isn't. Oh, and Riggs beat Rambo.
She's over our Rambo
she's
video
correct.
yet.
She's correct.
She's not over our Rambo.
I still agree. Riggs is the better.
Listen here. Gonna take that back.
Which one's crazier though?
Yeah. Crazier?
Yeah,
it depends on the movie. Rambo 1 is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He's pretty lunatic.
But he didn't kill himself. He didn't even try. He was going to. That was in the story, but he didn't. But
in the book, he does.
But Riggs totally was going to. He had the gun in his mouth. I'm just saying, I'd like to watch that movie. Miranda, oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Miranda Sinistra Gorsuch? is D. I think it cut off the rest of the name.
Is Daddy.
Is Daddy? Cuts it off. I'm sorry. I can't read the whole name. You have a long name. Cut it off. I'm sorry.
I see it on the chat. Yeah, it's
Miranda
Daddy.
for $20. Thank you, Miranda. Wish I could watch the full stream, but I gotta work early as fuck tomorrow. Love you both. Well, thank you. I love you too. Whenever you watch this, when you come back around.
Sweet dreams.
Lady G again for $5. Thank you. I hated the pins on the Hot Topic Messenger bag. Wait, what? I hated the pins on Hot Topic Messenger bag. Flex how cultured they were. Oh yeah, how cultured they were, but didn't know anything or care about what the pins represented. Right. So in Hot Topic, I don't know if you have these stores in Brazil.
No, we don't. I don't think so.
At the mall, you'd have is a store called Hot Topic, and it would have all of the stuff that you would. It was like the store for the metalhead, for the rock and roll kid, or for it eventually turned into just like the emo store.
That's pretty much what happened to the heavy metal bands that went mainstream. They became emo.
It's all emo, which you know, I like an emo song here and there, or whatever. I'm not shading it, but it did kind of turn into the poser store where you bought a T-shirt that says Led Zeppelin, but you don't know anything about Led Zeppelin. Or you'd buy a bag with a pin on it, a bunch of pins of bands, but you don't know any of the names. So I get what you're trying to say. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the whole poser concept.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You got to get those T-shirts from the concerts. You can't get it at a store.
Yeah.
Like this one. That's where I get
directly from the band.
Exactly. You're giving them the money. Nick Nero for $4.99. Should have called it the hair stream. Just saying.
Yeah. No.
I'm working on it. I'm getting it.
Quarter Black is working on his.
I'm getting it down here. Look at that. It's like down to here.
Nice.
I might go nipple length.
Don't let those man bun haters get to you.
I know.
Don't let them.
This is the man bun stream.
If you, dude, we should both be wearing man buns to make people mad. But dude, if you live in a tropical country like this here, it's almost never. It's impossible.
You gotta let the neck breathe.
It's a necessity. Yeah.
Gotta let it breathe. You know, I like to let it flow a lot, but sometimes you gotta let it breathe. You know, if you're gonna go work out, you can't just have hair all up in your face.
Oh, by the way, and the salt from the sweat destroys your hair. By the way,
really,
don't work out with your hair like touching your back and all sweaty. Yeah, just
keep that up and tight and safe, nice and safe up at the top. All right, I think
your heavy metalness.
Let's see. I'm gonna check. Just make sure I'm not missing anybody, but I think that's everybody. Oh, I got a hyper chat over on the ODYSEE side because we are over there. So if you want to watch these streams, I do them over on the ODYSEE as well. If you don't like YouTube, but it was from DKB Productions, and it was 6 minutes ago, so I didn't forget it for too long. Hey, Dan Vasc, thanks for putting me on to new music. Your zombie cover is fire. All your covers are fired.
Thank you very much. That was 2018.
Wow.
I did that one. Wow. It seems so long ago, doesn't it?
It seems so short. Like, it seems like yesterday, but it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It's like 3 years ago.
I mean, what I mean by that is that the world was so different in 2018. How can things change in a large scale so fast? It's kind of scary. But also
an election.
But it's scary, but it also, like, you can also be optimistic about it in the reverse way, that the world can change back fast as well.
Yeah, it's like trends, you know. I'm hoping that this whole woke thing is just a trend. You know, we go through these 7-year cycles of trends. They come and go. Please, God, let this just be a trend and kind of go away. And everybody look back and go, yeah, you know, that was kind of ridiculous that we all did that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Showtime.
Mullets and that sort of stuff.
Dude, mullets are coming back. Are they coming back in Brazil? Because they're coming back with a vengeance in America. Like, I'm seeing all kinds of kids.
I see like that one guy walking on the street, but he has like other weird stuff in him.
There's other things going on.
I've never seen a completely normal person that which the only weird thing is the mullet. There's always something else too. So I'm a little suspicious.
It's coming back.
I find it suspicious. But yeah, let me ask you something. When was like the first moment you started noticing that something about the entertainment industry and like culture in general was starting to get a little off with the wokeness thing?
I think it was 2016. Because I'd always known that these things were going on, but I never really paid attention to it. Like, I just like vaguely anti-authoritarian and anti-wokeness. The ideas of wokeness, it wasn't called woke, but it was that kind of idea. I've always been against that kind of stuff, but I never noticed it fully until 2016, and that was whenever I felt like I was seeing all these movies and TV shows kind of saying the same thing, and it was all like anti-white, anti-male things, and I was like, what is going on? So it's probably about then, which I think is a lot of other people were that way. It was 2016 because it ramped up like hardcore.
Yeah, for me, it was 2016 as well. But there was. I remember one particular case that made me go, because like you said, there was always that sort of people who would victimize themselves based on whatever, based on gender, based on sexuality and that kind of stuff. That is not going away, by the way.
Yeah.
But what started to happen is that those people, we started to take those people more seriously.
Yeah.
That's what wokeness means, because victimization will always exist and it will go on even when this wokeness thing goes away, because it is in the human nature to find an excuse other than themselves for their own failures. It's the whole story about Cain and Abel. I hate you not because of my faults, but because of your virtues.
Yeah. So
that is a human thing. But we started to take those people very seriously back, and I started to notice this back in 2016 with one particular thing that happened. I love nostalgia. We have bragging rights. We need to get you on bragging rights. By the way.
I want to line it up so I can get some good, some good stuff. Because I got to win.
Nice.
Okay, I got to win. When I come in, I can't come in, weak. I got to come in strong.
Yeah, we managed to turn a wholesome show about nostalgia into competition. So yeah.
Perfect.
That's perfect. But I love nostalgia. I love like escapism based, nostalgia based escapism. Yeah. So one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Cinemassacre. Don't know if you heard about it. Cinemassacre with the angry video game nerd James Rolfe, and he's a big fan of Ghostbusters. So what happened in 2016 is that the Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters as we call it, came out.
Yes.
And James Rolfe released a video simply stating that he wouldn't make a review on the movie because he's a big Ghostbusters fan, and people were expecting him to do a big review, a big video about it. He just dropped a review on the latest Ghostbuster, by the way, Afterlife.
Really?
But anyway, he dropped a video saying that he wouldn't do a review because he wouldn't watch it. He refused to watch it, and he said something really cool. That is what you guys on Friday Night Tide said. I'm just not gonna watch it. That's just not gonna give my money to those people.
Yeah,
because I don't think that movie should exist. And it was actually a very polite, respectful, and down-to-earth video. He wasn't political about it. By no means. I cannot imagine James Rolfe getting political about anything. He's the most like escapism guy that you go for to pretend that bullshit doesn't exist. You go to Cinemassacre. That's two very important roles on YouTube, by the way. The people who talk about the bullshit and call it what it is, and the people you go to pretend that the bullshit doesn't exist. Those two things are really important. But I digress. Anyway, the articles that came out the next day and the following week, calling the guy all sorts of names, were amazing. Were incredible. I've never seen this before. The guy's being called sexist. The guy's being called a woman hater. And this is like the most polite and wholesome guy in the world.
Yeah, just for an opinion.
Just for not wanting to watch a shitty movie about a franchise he loves.
Yeah.
So and he didn't mention anything about it's because the cast is female. He didn't mention anything about that. Those were all assumptions that the weirdos made. And when I saw that, I started paying more attention. And I was like, yeah, there's something weird going on in the world.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. So yeah, that's my little anecdote about how I started to notice that all that bullshit.
Yeah. I think that
2016.
It was probably early 2016, late 2015. I was working at that call center that I talked about earlier, and I had a lot of free time because I'm on a computer, I'm sitting, taking calls, so I would just be scrolling news. And it was the first time I started really paying attention to like what was going on in the world. Like before, I'm like, whatever. Like I'm just like, I'm doing my own thing, making money, trying to support my family, whatever. I don't care what's going on outside. And then I started paying attention to it because I'm like sitting here reading these articles and I'm like, all these stories are vastly misrepresenting the facts, and people are believing it. So I was going down this like rabbit hole of like reading these articles of events that were happening, and it's not necessarily even just in like entertainment, just in politics and the world events. These stories where they would tell it in such a way, and articles are the worst. You think it's bad like CNN and stuff. Articles are the worst. They'll tell you how to think in the title. That's where I really started getting pissed, because I was like, you're telling me how to think about whatever the situation was or whoever it was you were talking about just by the title and how you're editorializing what's supposed to be news. So I went down that and I started looking more into it, and I was watching videos like Steven Crowder, watching his channel, watching like Gavin and stuff like back in the day, and going like, yeah, what the fuck? There is some shit going on. This doesn't seem right. There's a lot of things that you just take for granted, and I understand that's why a lot of people don't know what's going on, because they're like I was going through their day to day. They don't agree with what's going on, but they don't pay attention to it. They're not looking for the answers. They just see stuff happening and they're like, I ain't got time for it. I'm just grinding and trying to get my, bread on the table kind of stuff. And that was whenever I really started going like, okay, there's something going on. There's an agenda kind of happening, because so many things were in the same direction. It was pointed in the same direction. All of the titles were always from one side pointing at the other side. Everything was in that way. And that was like, and then I started critically thinking about movies more, and TV shows and comic books that I read, and thinking about what is the writer trying to tell me subtly, like under the radar? Because a lot of that stuff was under the radar. Like when you watch 2016 Ghostbusters, the movie doesn't outright say men are stupid and evil, but it tells you men are stupid and evil. Every single character that's a male is either stupid or evil, or evil and stupid. Like the entire movie tells you that. So then I started going like, I
never watched it.
It's fucking horrible. It is trash fire. But I'm not kidding. Every single male character was stupid or evil or a combination. So I started critically thinking about other things outside of that, and I think that's where it led me into critically thinking about the Star Wars franchise more and going down that rabbit hole. And that's how I found more like Mahler and people like that breaking down the story itself and going like, yeah, I don't like what's going on here.
When was The Force Awakens released? 2016 as well?
Was that? I think it was 15.
15?
Yeah.
Dude, I was out with The Force Awakens. I never watched The Last Jedi. I never watched the Rise of Skywalker, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that one was entertaining.
The Mandalorian.
Because of the trash fire.
Force Awakens. I watched The Force Awakens and I was, fuck this shit. This is bullshit. I'm out.
Yeah.
I was so mad at what they did with Han Solo. And like killing a major OG character before getting the three of them together.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Insane.
And I wasn't into like I didn't know what wokeness was. There wasn't that concept before. Yeah. And it was just for the quality and the stupid writing decisions. I was already out. I was like, when Han Solo died, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out.
I had a problem with, because I did fall for the first one. I will admit, I fell for the first one. The first time I watched it.
First time I watched Me Too is like, there's that hype. Like, I'm watching a Star Wars movie in 2015.
Like, oh my gosh. And we hyped ourselves up so much because the trailers look so good. And I went to a movie screening where we watched all 6 of them leading into the 7th one.
Wow.
And in that 7th one, whenever it ended, the second it ended and it hit credits, I felt there was something wrong. But then I tricked myself into going, no, and then my creative brain kicks in and I go, well, they could go here and here and here. And what if this was a thing? And
it's not like
I try to justify. Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to hate Star Wars?
Yeah.
No one. No one wants to hate Star Wars. We want it to be good. We wanted to love it. I was so happy and optimistic when Disney bought Star Wars.
Yeah, me too.
I really was. I was like, oh my God, we're going to get new movies as sequels from the actual OG trilogy. This is awesome.
And they have the original trio coming back and they're going to be in it.
Yeah.
And there's Chewbacca and there's but that's how they fucking get you. And that's how they're getting people now, is they're doing that same thing. They're going, you see, there's Luke Skywalker. Here's another, dangling more keys in front of people. And that's why I will not take that shit now, because I got burned before. Like, I convinced myself that there was a possibility of it being good. I was like, okay, well, maybe I didn't like the ending of that one, but maybe there's a justified reason for why they killed Han Solo, and it'll mean something later that I just don't know yet. And then I'd come up with my own ideas of what it could be. And all of those were so much better than what fucking happened, obviously. And it took me the confirmation of Last Jedi to go, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know where they're going with it. And that's where I was, I hate it all. And then Rise of Skywalker was just, it was a clusterfuck. And I had to watch it because it was just one of those, it's like, the lead up to Fan Four Stick. Did you ever watch that movie, the Fantastic Four movie that was just a train wreck?
No, wait.
The
little old one from the 2000s?
No. They made another one. Josh Trank directed one.
No, I only watched the first one.
Well, I was paying attention to a lot of the news about it and how horrible the production of it was. And I was like, I have to go watch this movie just because it sounds like a train wreck. And it was very entertaining. So that's why I was watching all of the news about Rise of Skywalker, right? Because I was talking to Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic, and I was watching all their videos and Mahler and them do EFAP and breaking down all the videos and stuff. And I was just like, I am so excited to watch this last one because it just looks like it's going to be complete garbage. And it was. It was complete garbage, and it was just so stupid. It was fantastic. I think it was my favorite Disney Star Wars movie just because it was so horrible and is the best. But yeah,
I heard all about it, but I never watched it, and I don't plan to.
Yeah, my breakup with Star Wars was a long process of acceptance. That this I'm to the point where it's not Star Wars. I don't have to break up with Star Wars because I still love Star Wars. It still exists. It's everything that exists before it was sold to Disney. Everything after that is a fan film version of Star Wars that's not really Star Wars. It can have the name and be owned by Star Wars, and I guess technically, legally, it's Star Wars, but creatively and in my soul, it's not fucking Star Wars.
I just don't care anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care who owns it. It's like you cannot control it, I think. I will not consider that canon.
Yeah, I just
period.
don't.
I don't care who, it's like there are objective characteristics that define a character that are not subjective, that are not up to debate. Like when you see a friend of yours doing something that he will never ever do, you know there's something wrong. That's not your friend, because you know that person, and you know that person will never have that type of reaction to that situation, will never make that kind of choices. You know it's not him. So it's like we go back to that old story of the actors knowing better how their characters would behave than the writers, because there are objective intrinsic qualities and characteristics to any character, and it doesn't matter who owns it, doesn't matter what a piece of paper, a legal document says. That is not Luke Skywalker. I don't care if a judge says it is. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that means shit to me.
Otherwise,
it means nothing to me that they own it. It's because it doesn't feel like Star Wars to me. Like you just said, like Mark Hamill said, it's not he's not doing things that Luke Skywalker would do. And Mark Hamill would know because he played an entire arc, the perfect hero arc of Luke Skywalker. He would probably fucking know something about Luke Skywalker, I would think.
Mark Hamill said something really interesting. Like I think, I don't know. I didn't watch the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, but apparently there's a scene where Luke meets C-3PO for the first time in like decades. And he was supposed to like just walk by it and say nothing, like didn't even acknowledge him. And Mark says, that's not Luke would never do that. Luke would never do that. It was like that robot was like Luke's best friend.
Yeah.
In a certain point. But it's the idea that the writer will even consider that to be a thing. It's amazing.
Well, it's like
extraordinary.
In what is the first? Force Awakens. Whenever Leia walks past Chewbacca and hugs Rey, and not Chewbacca. Like Chewbacca, the person, the species or whatever, that she's known for decades, she walks past and has a complete connection with Han Solo, right? It's Chewbacca. Yeah. Like it's Chewbacca, Han Solo. Han Solo dies and she goes and hugs Rey.
That's like the best friend of your husband.
You're like, that doesn't make any damn sense. So yeah, that's why I'm like, these aren't those characters. They bought the name to the franchise and they paid the actors to come back and play the characters, but they aren't the same characters that they've come back to play. And I think a lot of people just can't wrap their minds around that. They think just because it's named Star Wars and it's owned by Disney that it is Star Wars. It's not. But
and that can happen.
That's just me. Like whatever, like your stupid sci-fi show that's not really Star Wars. Whatever.
No, you're right. You're right. And kind of the same thing is happening to Star Trek 2, the reboot.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't hate it as much as most people. I think there's a. I didn't watch the third movie.
The first one's good.
The first two. I only watched the first two. But I think there was a genuine effort of fan service there, like a lot of a lot of kind of hidden Easter eggs and wholesome moments to the fans of the OG series. But yeah, that Spock bothered me a lot. That Spock is
in the second one. The second one is really bad,
especially on the second one.
It's gone. Like it just no, dude. It did not work.
Yeah, he did a lot of things that Spock would never do, and he being on a relationship with Uhura.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotion. Just so much emotion. I'm like,
no!
The whole point is that he's supposed to not have emotion.
Literally, I don't remember if it was the first or the first few episodes. In one of the first few episodes of the OG trilogy of the original Star Trek, there's a scene with Uhura with the original Spock, Leonard Nimoy. She was trying to flirt with him, and he was just completely like a statue, like completely cold.
Yeah,
and she was pissed. I don't know if that thing, they being in a relationship, was kind of trying to allure to that somehow, that in this parallel universe it worked.
Yeah,
that flirting. I don't fucking know.
I think that's why that movie works better than the sequels trilogy, because that Star Trek was saying this is a different timeline.
Yeah,
different events.
There is an element of respect.
Yeah,
for the original.
Yeah, at least in the earlier ones, there was a consistent respect for it, and this new one it feels like an alternate reality of Star Wars, but they're saying it is the same Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, everybody acts differently.
The third Star Trek?
No, I'm saying Star Wars. Like, the difference between Star Trek, the way that they redid it, was it, when did that movie come out? 2010? 2009, I think. The difference is that in that movie, they made a parallel universe before Kirk was even born. A parallel universe branched off, and that's what we're watching. We're watching something that's not the original people. It's something different. They have the same names, but a different things are happening.
It's not really changing anything that we already grew to love and respect.
Yeah, it's saying this is something outside of it, but we're trying to do something different, but we're not trying to mess with what you already love. These sequel trilogies for Star Wars, they're saying, no, this is your reality. These are supposed to be the exact same characters, but they are acting like they're alternate reality versions of the characters that we love.
Yeah, and guess what? Now the characters you know and love are a bunch of losers.
Yeah, they lose. They're fucking losers.
Yeah, and Darth Vader, like, he died for nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
He died so Rey could soar, you know? So she could just kill Palpatine.
Yeah, so, like, get over it, or you're a fascist, a sexist, or a Nazi, or whatever. But with Star Trek, the reboot films, there is this element of respect of at least trying to, this is a parallel universe. This is not changing anything you already know, you already enjoy. But it's that Spock bothers me.
Yeah,
I like the actor. I think he got a lot of stuff from Leonard Nimoy, like, really well. But some of his mannerisms, and dude, I
think it was the writing ultimately that fell short. I think.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff on the writing, like those little Easter eggs that I mentioned. But I want to say about Bones, about
dude, Carl Urban, fucking amazing.
Carl Urban. When he screamed on the first movie, there's a moment that he screamed, "Damn it, Jim!" I was like, "This is
because Carl Urban is just a phenomenal actor in everything he does." So yeah, I felt like I was watching OG Star Trek when he got the mannerisms of, what is the name of the OG actor? DeForest. I don't know his name.
DeForest Kelly. I was like, I think it's DeForest Kelly. I was like, man, this is DeForest Kelly back from the grave.
Yeah.
When he said that, and when he yelled at Kirk, "Damn it, Jim!"
Damn it, Jim!
Exactly the way it was supposed to sound.
Yeah.
It was.
There's a great cast too. It was a really good cast.
Yeah. Dude, emo Spock. Yeah. Not cool.
Not good.
Not cool.
Not cool at all.
Yeah.
Jose Gonzalez, once again, for $2. Thank you, sir. Samurai had man buns. That's right. Samurai did have man buns, and they're very practical.
Yep.
Practical. That's what I'm saying. It's the man, not the bun. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Redbeard for $5. Love you, quarter black. I can tell Dave on LWC misses your pop culture references. I'd like to get Dave. I'm trying to get Dave on FNT. But I would also like to get Dave on my channel so we could talk about a movie or something sometime. We got to talk to him about that. Steven really needs to shout out Nerdrotic. Well, he does whenever I come on. So next time that I come on, we'll do a shout out again. Love to see him or Dave on. Well, yes, I have extended the invitation to Steven. So it's up to Steven when he can make some time. He maybe come on. Redbeard once again for $5. Thank you, sir. You guys think that they're trying to retcon Disney Star Wars with the shows? No. If so, what is the end story? I don't think they are. I think they're going straight into it. Retcon is like whenever they try and rewrite something. So retcon in this situation would be to get rid of the Disney trilogy movies and go in a different direction. I don't think so.
They're not doing that.
They're not.
They're not doing that.
In this last episode. Exactly. In this last episode, they showed the Jedi Temple that Luke set up that got destroyed by Ben Solo. So it all happens together again. Again, Luke Skywalker is acting like an asshole. I didn't watch the episode, but I did hear a breakdown where Luke Skywalker tells Grogu, the stupid baby Yoda, he gives him a choice between a toy or something that he got from Mando and the lightsaber. So he's got to make a choice between being a Jedi or going wherever. And he was like mean about it in some way. So I didn't watch it. But I heard that he doesn't act like Luke Skywalker should again.
Is it over already? That was the last
I think that was the last episode.
Okay. Because I thought they were going to explore like kind of the ethical fall of Luke to explain how he became a
but this is
milk
sucking loser. Yeah. This is only like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and they're already going where he's like making choices that aren't like Luke. It's not Luke.
I don't doubt that they're gonna try to like not retcon, but maybe apologize for that, trying to explain it, try to
explain it in a way.
Sort of some of heroic reasoning, try to apply a heroic reasoning to it all somehow. Maybe with a show, with a series, with a spin-off movie or whatever.
So fucking lame. I hate it. I hate it all. Dude, all right. I don't know what.
Yeah, and there's Obi-Wan coming.
Yeah, they're gonna dude, everything they touch, man, they're gonna have Anakin and Obi-Wan meet again. I swear they're gonna do it. And they're just gonna.
Oh, they will for sure.
Because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit if it means anything to anybody. Just. Hey, what's up, Marksman of 117B? I see you over there. Monster Mangler. Danny Brooks, what's up? See you over there in chat. All right, well, that was good. 2 hours. Dude, we just go on a roll and we just keep talking, man. Well, thanks for coming on the channel once again, and we will have to set up a Spinal Tap stream where we talk about it. Okay, so next time we're gonna do Spinal Tap. Let's do it. Because that's a phenomenal movie. I fucking love that movie so much. All right, Dan. Everybody, go subscribe to Dan, please. I mean, if you probably already are, but if you're not, you're making wrong choices with your life, and you need to correct that. So, thanks everybody for the super chats. Do you want to promo anything that you're doing right now to the good peoples? Listen to my shit. I mean, that's what I usually say. But yeah, now I'm trying to be on everywhere now, so go follow me on Minds, Gab, even on TikTok. I'm on TikTok now, so I have to be a little bit weirdo to not be too much awesome. To have to be a little bit of a weirdo, emo teenager as well. Time to bring some manliness to the platform, for God's sakes. Take it over. TikTok, Minds, Gab, what else?
good old Instagram, Twitter,
Odyssey.
Dan Vasc. I'm ODYSEE. I'm on ODYSEE as well, and now I have a profile picture there.
Hey.
So yeah.
There you go. Go find him. Links in the description. Maybe not all of them, but I got a lot of them in there. You can follow those down. Cool. Subscribe and follow and listen. Do all that shit. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Send in the super chats. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Love you guys. And I'll see you next time we do something on this channel. You know what time it is. It's Chad stream time. It's been a little while. I've been doing some stuff. I'm sorry I haven't been here to support you Chads and give you this Chad time so all of the Chads in the chat can chat it up in your Chadness. But let's just, you know, I always like to do this. I like to address the Chads. I'm going to do that real quick after I address this donation link. Somebody sent me a donation, and I did not look at it until after I hit the Chad screen. So let's get to that real quick. I hope you aren't gone yet, okay? But from Greg Scrappa for $1, ahaya! That's right. And then, again, from Greg one more time for another $1. Finally got StreamYards to work. There are some supers that I did on YouTube. I like it when you call me Big Jabba. Put your hands in the air. Waving like you just don't care. All right, now let's address the freaking Giga Chads that are in the chat fucking right now, dog. You guys didn't leave. You know the drill. I hit that good night screen. All the filter people leave, and it's just me and you. The Chads. Marty Art, I knew you'd be here. I knew it. I can't disappoint you and not have a Chad screen. Marksman of 117B, you're a Chad. Seth Alonian, what's up? Hey Seth, I actually did get it to work over on ODYSEE this time. I got it to work. Jose Gonzalez, what's up, you Chad? Jack Tard Lad. Chad. Jack, you're a Chad. Ben. Chadness. Like I said, Titan Killer. You like how I throw that killer at the end? That's right, because you're a Chad. Brandon. Carl. Dinetta Die. Bacon's all mine. Dude, Bacon, you've been here the whole stream. Fucking Chad, dude. Ultimate. You're Bacon Chad. This is the Bacon stream. So I've been doing a few things, you know. I've been out and about building studios. I mean, right now we haven't done any of the tech stuff yet, but we just put up the tiles. But you know, you got to start somewhere. But I drove down to San Antonio. I did that stream last week. That was my last stream. That was fun. Then I took a week break, which you probably shouldn't have done. Okay, that's very unchad of me to do. I apologize. All right? I apologize. I need to do more, all right? I need to do more. Hashtag do better. But if this is your first time being, most of these chads already know what's up, all right? Most of these chads know what's going on. But if you're new to the area, I got to reset it for you guys. I hit goodnight, the filter leaves, and you guys are just consolidated into all your chadness, and you hang out right here in the after party. It's called the After Show Secret Double Underground Podcast Stream Show. That is secret show. Stream. Podcast. Josiah. I'm going to try... because you're a Chad, I'm not going to point out the fact that you misspelled my name, even though that triggers me hardcore. That's okay. Because you're a Chad. Verizon foot. I'm going to assume the FT is for foot. Do I have cookies? I don't have cookies. We eat rocks because we're Chads. Okay? We eat pebbles and stones. Brandy, you're a new Chad. Welcome to the Chaddening. All right? Don't get intimidated. You shouldn't be, because you're also a Chad. You're amongst fellow Chads, all right? Unbreaded. That's all right. Unbreaded. On paper? So, speaking of unbreaded, next week, you guys are getting the lowdown because you're Chads. How dare you, Josiah? How dare you? You just did it again. I'm gonna smoke your ass. But I'm not gonna because you're a Chad, all right? I'm gonna let it go. Anyways, next week, the great Nick Rekieta, if he is able to make it, we're gonna talk about that movie that we said we were gonna watch. Hold on. Let me confirm what that movie is, so if you guys want to watch it as well, you can do that. Give me 1 second. Do 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 do. There it is. Do 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 do. What is it called? Do 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 do. Showdown in Little Tokyo. I was completely off, but it has the same essence, right? I think I said Shadow in Chinatown. This is like Showdown in Little Tokyo. So the movie Showdown Little Tokyo with Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren. We're going to be talking about that movie, so go find it on the internet. Watch it on a streaming service. I don't know what you know what I mean. Get your rum and eye patches on. Find the movie, watch the movie, and we're going to talk about it next week with the great Nick Rekieta. And last time I had Nick on the channel, it was a fucking blast. We talked about Event Horizon, and then we watched we read articles. That's what it was. We read ridiculous, stupid articles, and he explained to me the U-Cut Subway sandwich. So you get all kinds of information when Nick comes around. So it's going to be a good time. All right, everybody. I have a business call I need to get on after this, so I should probably go. We're talking business, all right? Business, as I like to say. So, hey, Lady Gravemaster, good night. And you are also a Chad. Don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. No matter what they say. I don't care what they say. You're a Chad. I'll see you later, Bin. We will talk to you guys later. I'm going to get on this stream, and probably in the next couple days, we're going to do a game stream with... I was talking to Az. We might be doing... Sorry, I'm burping. That was weak. What is that game called? Dying Light? Something. Dying Light 2. He's been playing that. He wanted me to play it, so maybe we will play that this week. Either that or more Project Zomboid, because I'm fucking still hooked on that game. We will get back and we will play something. At the very least. Oh, dude, you know what? Sifu is out. That Kung Fu game. Holy shit. I gotta get that game and stream that shit. So we're gonna play something on this channel because it's been too long and we need to get it going. All right. So all you Chads, I want you to all go to your rooms, fluff your Chad pillows, lay your Chad head on the bed, and have sweet Chad dreams. Okay? Good night. And don't let the betas bite.